Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 5 of Disney Villains Cruella de Vil. Now as you know, we're on the last final issue of Disney Villains Cruella de Vil, where we see how Cruella was desperately trying to rebuild her reputation despite it being a losing battle. And I think as a series, it's definitely been enjoyable and definitely been readable to watch. So, the cover mainly has Cruella de Vil in her evil grin, and the story mainly starts off with Emily asking Cruella why did she take them, but Cruella points out that, she didn't mean to, as they were barking and yapping. And we see how Horace and Jasper point out that, this is Cruella's fault, and that, this is going to be pretty bad. And we see how, after one of the dogs hears the Queen's corgis, this is where we kind of see the dog who's been giving us the introduction says, "Well, here we are. The night it all went down. I was perfectly dreaming of crumpets and biscuits when suddenly..." And this is where we're going to see the Twilight bark. And this is where, after the Bulldog hears about what's happened, we kind of see how Emily and Cruella have to get back the sort of Queen's corgis back to the palace, while Horace and Jasper have to look after the sort of loot. And we see how the Bulldog gives off the Twilight bark, and all the dogs throughout London hear it. And this is much like the first film. And we see how another dog says, "Leonard, the de Vil lady struck again. We must go. I can track the villain." And we see how, all the dogs hear out throughout the Twilight bark. And this is where, they have to point out that they have to kind of get the dogs back to avoid future problems. And we see how, Horace and Jasper are against going back to the palace to avoid future problems. And this is Horace and Jasper not wanting anything to get further into trouble by Cruella de Vil. So Emily decides to leave Horace and Jasper to look after the sort of loot. And we kind of see how Cruella and Emily journey it back to drop off the corgis. And this is where every dog throughout London is after Cruella and Emily. And this is where we see them trying to desperately avoid the other dogs. And this is Cruella knowing that they're after her. And this is them trying to avoid the problem. And we see how Cruella says, "Faster, Emily, faster! I'm doing my best." And of course, we see how they journey it through. And avoiding more dogs. And we see how after a mishap, we see back at the sort of de Vil Manor, we see how Horace and Jasper are helping themselves to Cruella de Vil's tea and fine silverware. And wanting to keep some of the loot for themselves, knowing that Cruella won't probably miss any bit of it. So we kind of see how, after one little mishap, we see how one of the goats tries to eat one of the jewelry, and then desperately trying to get it to kind of let go. After, Horace and Jasper's mishap, we see how they realise that, after knocking out a candle, the whole place is going ablaze. And we see how, after crashing back in near Buckingham Palace, we see how the other dogs journey out, but of course have managed to kind of successfully gotten the corgis back. And we see how, Emily points out that due to this media frenzy, she's going to have to avoid a couple of weeks. So of course Emily points out that she has her prize, but points out that she'll be in touch with the fabric and let Archibald drive Cruella back. And of course, after getting back to their home, we see how Cruella learns to her dismay that, that her house and that has been burnt to a crisp. And this is the Bulldog explaining where it all started and where it all ended, and points out that, eventually Cruella will rebuild her fashion empire, and her reputation once more, showing the cycle will and can continue, but the dog's keeping a close eye on her. And yeah, the ending of the story shows the aftermaths of it. So I think, yeah, as a final, issue 5 is definitely readable. It's a good ending point, showing how, yeah, after one mishap, after one bad mishap after another, Cruella will hit rock bottom again, but will try to bring herself back up. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still readable. And I think as a series, Disney Villains Cruella de Vil does what it needs to do with a simple story, showing how, yeah, after one controversial mistake, someone will try to rebuild their reputation, but will obviously make mistakes that end up hitting them rock bottom. So I think the series deserves another thumbs up and another one. A readable series, enjoyable, and definitely worth getting if you're a fan of 101 Dalmatians. So I think the series was definitely enjoyable. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.